So a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, I started out my artistic career in ceramics. So the family business was ceramics. The ceramic business kind of transformed into a retail flower shop in the late 80s, early 90s. And so I was a retail florist for 25 years. Toward the end of that time, I was in a car accident and I hit my head. It was a really minor brain injury, but a pretty serious bout of what they call post-concussion syndrome. I had a concussion, and the issues from the concussion created like a feedback loop in my head. So like, you take an electric guitar and you stand in front of an amplifier and whoa, well, that was like it was going on in my head all the time. And my wife and I figured out over my healing process that if I had something to focus on, if I had a hobby, I could focus on the hobby and my head would stop hurting and I would be okay for an hour, 3 hours, or a weekend or whatever. But I got really bored with the hobby. I'd learn everything that I could about it and get to a point where, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. So I went through a series of hobbies, and I was really making my wife fussy, and she walked by, and I was sitting at the kitchen table just grumbling around, and she threw this catalog down. It was a place called the John C. Campbell Folk School. Folk school. Hippies go to folk school. Obviously, I'm not a hippie. I don't want to go to a folk school. That's too much like going to work at the flower shop. So that's what I thought on the inside. On the outside, I said, okay, honey, I'll look at the catalog. Because she said, pick a class. We're going. You're driving me insane. So I flipped through the catalog. And I kept flipping, kept rejecting, and finally I came to wood turning. But I said, okay, we'll take the wood turning class. Fine. So we spent the money, we loaded the car, we went to the John C. Campbell Folk School, which is in North Carolina, and we got there and my head was screaming and I wasn't feeling good. And I didn't want to turn into a hippie, and I was really not happy. So we go into the first class. The instructor comes out and he's straight out of Mountain Man Central Casting, huge farmer looking guy, huge hands, big feet, coverall, scraggly beard, deep voice. It's like, really? And then he says, okay, everybody take a piece of wood and we're going to put it on your lathe, and I want you to work with these 3 tools that you talked about and just see what happens. I figured we've spent the money, we're here, okay, I'll wiggle a tool and then I'm going to go in the room and sleep for the rest of the week because I really didn't feel good. But the way I remembered it was the moment that first tool touched that spinning piece of wood, my head stopped hurting, the clouds parted, the angels started singing. It was absolutely amazing. I decided then and there, I want to be a hippie, I want to be a wood turner. This is my life, this is where I live now, and we're going to do it. Every time I was working on the lathe, my head did not hurt. And it allowed me, I guess, enough clarity or distraction to get through the healing process, which ultimately took about 18 months.